Hello, this is Solomon in the CCJ 200 class, and this week's prompt is defending one of the two theories of punishment, which is retributive justice or deterrent retributive punishment or deterrence punishment theory. And I am here to record my answer on why I think retributive punishment is the more defensible theory of punishment. And I will first start off by saying I think deterrent punishment, as talked about by the author in the American in the book, in our course book, where he had said I'm paraphrasing, but the believers of conventional deterrence believe that the more often we punish crimes, that in itself is the deterrent factor, that simply punishing crimes alone and often will kind of create this feeling of I don't want to commit crimes because I don't want to be convicted of the crimes that they may or may not do. I believe that and that the author had stated that the deterrent factor from this kind of method of punishment isn't really in the conviction process in itself or the punishments that may be bestowed on said wrongdoer, but is more in the stigma and societal hurdles people may face after receiving this kind of punishment, and that is really the only deterrence. And as the author had also referenced, kind of a strange way to bridge things, in my opinion, but with the Laffer curve theory about how higher taxes will kind of shrink the work ethic, because when more of the money is gone, more of the money that's worked for is gone, there is not really any incentive to work for money that you're not going to earn anyways, which in turn makes sense. And he relates it to if as followed by deterrent punishment theory, where crimes are punished swiftly and often, that it will create this deterrent effect. If crime is, he says that crime being punished so often kind of normalizes this behavior in ordinary life and has almost become as mentioned, a rite of passage for some young men, which is obviously the opposite intended effect. And in contrast, I believe, to retributive justice, I think, and another thing, to reference the lecture, I think, hold on, I'm blanking. I think into reference the lecture about assembly line justice, where in the book about how prosecutors play this game where they don't try unwinnable cases, and they try more easy cases just to improve conviction rates. And I think this kind of goes hand in hand with deterrent justice. We're trying to punish, get a higher output of the crimes, of punishments and conviction rates. I think it muddies the waters, as it said. It's not often that the people who do the most wrong, as the lecture had stated, it's not really the people who who did the worst crime. It's more on the people who had the most information to give, and I think this would be a sad way to go about justice. And in support of retributive justice, I believe that retributive justice, punishment is it doesn't try to influence too much how the justice system works, and kind of doesn't muddy the water as much as deterrent punishment theory does, in my opinion. I believe it, and as I'll reference here, a essay wrote by a lawyer of Notre Dame who had worked in Manhattan's district attorney's office. He had tried to point out a misconception where retributive justice is not really is not based on intrinsic value, and is not really rooted in an eye for an eye. It is really just rooted in giving out appropriate punishments to people for the appropriate, giving out punishments appropriate to those who had committed, like on the same level as the crime. So people who had committed a crime, they tried to give an equal punishment to the crime, where it's not too extreme. And as mentioned in a different essay that I will also reference by the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy, as much as there is a negative implication where if you commit a crime you will be punished, there's a positive one where if you do not commit a crime you won't receive any punishment, because it's rooted on the conditions of the situation, where we're looking at the crime and we're giving out an appropriate punishment. And obviously, if you had not committed a crime, or no crime is committed, then I believe that it sends a positive message as well. And I think to get to outcomes where you use retributive punishment, you need to incorporate the court system a little more. So I think it would eventually phase out a more assembly line justice, because you have to use a more court system to dish out a appropriate punishment. I hope, that's my hope. And yeah.